So it seems there's a little bit of a situation happening right now. 60,000 likes, 3.4 million views between Asmongold and Joe Bartolozzi. Very interesting. So Joe Bartolozzi goes off on people who say black people are more likely to commit crimes than white people. Okay, let's hear about this. Here we go.
Do not commit more crimes than white people on a personality basis. If you're going to say statistically they do, that is only because of impoverished areas in the lives that they've been given because of the implications that have been put on them through, what is it called? Systemic racism.
No, you dumb. Systemic racism benefits black people because now they're the only race in the United States who can get caught live on camera murdering people, stealing, and then say, well, but, you know, we should let him have another chance. I want to remind you, Irna Zarutska's killer on a train stabbed her to death, walked away. Nothing happened to him on that train. And that black man was a 24-time repeat offender walking on the streets who killed her just because she was white. I'm sorry. You need, and this is why this country's a mess right now, because we have white saviors like Joe Bartolozzi like, don't worry, black people, I will protect you. Bro, even black people are tired of black people because they are causing way more crimes, obviously. And you might say, well, actually, white people and black people actually commit the same amount of crimes. Well, sure, let's go down that route and then realize there is 13 times more white people in the United States than black people. Black people are 13% of the population, committing 62% of the violent crimes in America. Do you want to know why that's happening? It's not because they grew up in bad areas. It's because they've been taught they're allowed to do that. And it's okay. And they'll get away with it. And black people, by the way, are calling out other black people for that because they're tired. Okay, it's black people calling out YNs. Want to make that very clear, right? Even black people have gone on record saying there's a difference between a black person and a YN. And people honestly are kind of agreeing with that. But saying it's because of systemic racism, shut the up. Why are all these losers talking like they're fresh off the boat? Like, this ain't 1860. It's 2026. Okay? I'm sorry. That happened nearly 200 years ago. If you are still up about that, you need to get the over it. Everybody's trying to be a victim these days. How about we just have some accountability for our actions? Let's keep going here.
They've been given a hand and therefore live in that hand and are more likely to commit crimes if they're impoverished, living in areas where they have to survive. If you were to take a group...
Oh, okay. So if your life is bad, that means that you're allowed to commit crimes and it's fine. What you're saying right now is the reason why people continue to do it. You can't just say, well, your life is hard, so now you're allowed to commit crimes. Holy what in the are we talking about?
Group of people and put them in an impoverished area, they're likely to commit more crimes because they have not been helped in the way that they need to be.
No, you dumb. Oh my God. Okay, I want to say this very clear. There's a difference between white people and crackers. And this is a cracker ass take. Let's be completely honest. I don't know why Joe Bartolozzi is trying to dick suck right now and just lie, but the reality is that many races came to America. Many races came to America, including Asians, and Asians experienced racism. They integrated into society so fast it was ridiculous. If these blacks still can't do it after 200 years and they want to blame slavery, I'm sorry. People like Joe Bartolozzi giving them a excuse is the reason why this will never get better. If we continue to excuse behavior like this, rather than talk about the real issue and just hold people accountable, people and the United States will never get better. I want to remind you, Joe, white people were slaves too, okay? And we got over that so fast that people don't even know that's a real thing. This correlation, then you can make argument that if you do crime, that you will get in poverty. EA. I mean, this is just so stupid, bro. Holy.
But if you meet a black guy on the street and you say to his face, he's more likely to commit a crime than you're racist. Yes.
No. Talking about a statistic is not racist. It is not racist to acknowledge legitimate facts. Now, if you go up to a black man, and I want to remind you, as a guy who's 22% black myself, where I was raised by black people from 8th grade to senior year, I love black people. I want to make that very clear. I love my fellow black brothers and sisters. Black are a little bit annoying, though. I'm not going to lie. And you'll never catch me at a Waffle House at 3 a.m., okay? I don't feel like dying. All right? You're racist if you go up to a black person, say, you're not welcome in my store because you're a dirty hard R. That's racist. Talking to a black person saying, well, the reason why I have this viewpoint is due to the fact that statistically there are certain races that are more likely to be violent, right? Having that discussion, having an open discussion like that is not racist. If you cannot handle that conversation, and if you get violent by being informed of that information, I believe that says a lot more about the person getting violent than merely the person telling the truth. It's the same thing how this, I bet you this guy supports trans people. Oh, you're transphobic if you tell them they won't be a woman. I'm sorry that telling you the truth is offensive to you. I am so tired of being told that telling the truth makes you racist, makes you homophobic, makes you transphobic, because you have these white ass trying to be saviors saying, oh, no, actually, we need to live in an alternate version of reality. And if you tell the truth, you're actually just an awful person. This is so ridiculous. This sucks. I think this guy is so funny on TikTok. What a ass take. Holy shit. Let me double check here real quick. I put money Joe Bartolozzi loves the trans. Let's find out. Yes. Joe Bartolozzi, popular YouTuber, TikToker, Twitch streamer, publicly supports trans people. He shared resources like the Trevor Project. You mean the charity organization that is quite literally grooming children? You mean the charity project that, without disclosing to their parent, talks to children and attempts to make them trans? This is real, by the way. Jesus Christ. So Joe Bartolozzi is just a dude who says, I support everything and everybody. And if you tell the truth, that means you're a big bully. Does the Trevor Project talk to kids without telling the parents? Hold up. What a straight up. What a full-blown. And it's ridiculous. By the way, yes, the Trevor Project generally talks to and provides crisis support for kids and young people without notifying and involving their parents. I want to let you know right now, if there's ever an organization that's talking to your children and not telling the parents, you are a pedophile organization. You are. You are a grooming organization. There is in no way, shape, or form that anybody should ever be talking to my kids and won't let me know what the fuck y'all talked about. That is a pedophile grooming organization, and you cannot change my mind. This is ridiculous how Joe Bartolozzi is trying to poise as black people should be allowed to get away with more crimes because their life was hard. Jesus Christ. Holy. Okay, so I get falsely accused and my life gets fucked up over some that I didn't do. Should I be allowed to go assault somebody now? Should I be allowed to go rob a store? I was homeless. I grew up poor. Should I be allowed to go beat up some and take his shit? Jesus. What a retard.
Whatever statistical fact you're going to throw is clouded by the idiocy of yourself to not recognize why that fact is in existence. Not because black people are genetically more likely to commit a crime. That's stupid.
Yeah, man, let's just let black people do whatever, and if we ever talk about it, we're racist. Jesus Christ. Holy title of this video, Joe Bartolozzi situation is pathetic. Asmongold weighs in. Admiral says, it's true that blacks experience systemic racism. They benefit from it. True. Blacks and other minority groups enjoy preferential treatment through DEI and affirmative action at the expense of white and Asian Americans. It's true. Socioeconomic condition is a cope, and everyone knows it. Obviously. And just because Asmongold says blacks, which, by the way, is a completely normal and okay thing to say, just like if you were to say whites, this is how sensitive these black are, or these white heroes. You can't call them blacks. What else am I supposed to call them? Okay? I can't even say no cap on a stack for real without being told I'm a white supremacist and I'm stealing African American vernacular. There's blacks. How about you say black people? Yeah, there we go. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. You disgusting cockroach bastard. So calls Asmongold a disgusting cockroach bastard because he says blacks and he wants his act to be cordial. If I intended to degrade black people, I wouldn't have capitalized black. Character limits favor brevity over perceived political correctness. How about you just say, shut up? It's really that easy. It really is that easy. Anybody making this argument has no idea how the real world works. And this is once again another influencer just attempting to say whatever the social climate wants him to say. Joe Bartolozzi, you're a loser, dude. Holy good Lord. Good Lord. How about we just stop making excuses for criminals? And no, I'm not saying all black people are criminals. I want to remind you, I'm 22% black. What the What do you mean? Why is Grok betraying me? Listen, here's the thing. Whether you're white, black, Mexican, or Asian, just because you had a bad upbringing doesn't mean you're allowed to get away with crimes. You're just not. So let's stop giving people a free pass and say, actually, it's okay if black people commit crimes because of systemic racism. How about we just hold people accountable? It's really that easy. Like, comment, subscribe if you're also pro-reality. By the way, being pro-reality means apparently being racist and transphobic and homophobic, by the way. What a wonderful world we live in. Holy shit, everybody's a pussy these days.